wiffle ball. I grew up playing the sport in rural Illinois. The game still plays the same here in the city, only instead of trees and brush, curbs and cars mark the foul lines. In October of 2000, I accepted a position as youth pastor in Schmidgall, Wisconsin. After a successful period of ministry there, my wife and I began to sense a stirring in our hearts. We felt a call to church plant. We just didn't know where or when. In 2006, I came across an article stating that St. Louis had become the most dangerous city in America. This article and other promptings led us to meet up with a local St. Louis pastor who shared with us the reality of this great city.
At one time, between where the arch is, which kind of gives you a point of reference, you go straight west out all the way to the city limits. Everything north of that, at one time, we had right at 20 churches in the Assemblies of God. Now, as of today, we have none. And what's happened with those 20 churches is that the majority of them moved out to the county, and the others just went away. They just dissolved them. Because in the 60s, they had the great change in demographics in the city, and out of fear, people moved out. So at one time, in the mid-60s, we had 3,000 people attending those 20 churches. Now we have nobody attending Assembly of God Church in that area, in that part of our city at all. None. It's a tragedy. It is a tragedy.
So in August of 2009, my wife and I and our daughter moved down to St. Louis on the north side of Delmar with the intent of planting a church that bridges both the north side of Delmar and the south side of Delmar. When we came down here, we fully knew that I was going to be bivocational, working a full-time job while planting a church. I'm standing at the intersection of Delmar and Kings Highway. Delmar serves as an invisible division line between two different social economic classes. And if you look behind me, you'll see on the north side of Delmar is an empty abandoned building with a weed-strewn parking lot. And if you look just down the road, you'll see a beautiful, ornate church.
I know the difference between Euclid, that side of town, and right here, nothing but 1 block away. It's totally different, man. It's like two different worlds.
And as you drive through the streets on the north side of Delmar, you see repeated displays of abandonment, vacant buildings and unkept lots with bullet hole windows and boarded up entrances. But as you look deeper, you'll also notice a tight-knit community with great potential. And then when you cross over to the south side of Delmar, you'll see signs of luxury and success, displays of grandeur and beauty, homes with ornate decor and manicured lawns. But you also see signs of isolation due to materialism. But I believe both sides of the street have something to learn from one another. That's why we want to build and create a church that bridges this intersection. There's this philosophy that is being taught that students, you need to get an education so you can get out of the city. And although I understand where that philosophy comes from, I would like to see that thinking redeemed, to not just get an education and get out, but get an education but commit to your community. And so one of the things we'd like to see with our church here that we're planting is to develop indigenous leaders, develop godly men, disciple godly men and women in this community who will commit to this community, not just uproot their family and move out to better pastures, but to see this community thrive for the Lord.
And the last church moved out of North St. Louis City about 1992. And so since then, we've not had a presence in North St. Louis City.
So this is my vision for our church in North St. Louis. It's a church that bridges social and economic classes. It's a church that has a heart to see God glorified and lives changed through devotion to Jesus Christ. And those lives are ended up committed to their community. And it's a church that has a mission of saving the youth, reaching the parents, and redeeming this community.
we need to recapture basically what was once ours needs to be put back in our hands again. And with God's help, we can do it. Can't do it on our own, but He can do it. But it's going to take people like you.
Oh, nice hit! Nice hit up the middle! Look at that! Woo! Hey! Yeah! That's my team.
Good job. You gotta be